The Living Voice is a podcast exploring what shapes our voice and how our voice shapes the world. I'm your host, Yilei Lau. I'm joined by guests from diverse backgrounds as we explore voice as more than communication. We'll look at how our voice is shaped by our physical well-being, our inherited stories, the cultures and environments we move within, and the ways each of us are uniquely wired. Together, we inquire into what becomes possible when we meet our voice with kindness, awareness, and curiosity. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to have Tanya McQueen on my podcast. I'm super excited, and I will let her introduce herself. But we met at a mutual friend of ours art exhibition, and we just got on very well, and we started chatting and very curious about each other. So I'm super excited about this conversation. We're not sure what's going to come through, but I'm sure it will be very delicious. So Tanya, please tell us about yourself.
It was an honour to meet you and listen to your sounds. And I remember seeing you walking down, and I was like, "Who's that? Who is that soul?" And I think it's not so much more what I do, but who I'm being really on the planet, because my occupations can change quite rapidly, from filming to soul mentoring to running courses to doing lots of other different activities. But I think the main core essence of who I am is I love working with people's souls, because it's a bigger part of them that exists in the stillness. And when we, listen to that, it guides me and helps me get into an alignment and enjoy this walk on planet Earth. Because let's face it, it can be difficult as a highly evolved spiritual being to understand, or how do I be a human being?
Absolutely.
And so, that's kind of who I am. I just love watching people grow, wake up, learn, and spark something in them. Those aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, when they actually take responsibility for themselves and action it and do it. And then they come back and go, "Guess what I'm doing?" Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Yes.
Wow.
It worked. Off you go, petal. You're now a flower."
So how did you get to this point of like helping souls on their journey? Have you always been?
It started with me helping me.
Okay.
The bottom line is I was in addiction and a lot of other mental health issues that were going on from childhood through to teenage years into my early 20s. And I realized that I wasn't really living on planet Earth, in heaven on earth. I was living in hell on earth. And that's a horrible place to be. It's just this emptiness, nothing, KFC, fish and chips, drinking beer and watching TV and partying and doing jobs and racing around everywhere. It was exhausting. And then it became life-threatening. And so then I just wanted to go back to where I came from, because I didn't feel like I'd come from here. And so I spent a lot of my energy trying to leave the planet and disassociate. And then when I started having these, those magical moments that you just go, "Oh, there's something more." there's what if the place that I'm wanting to go to is actually not there, but it's here.
Yeah.
And it's possible to experience that heaven on earth here. I don't need to go anywhere because I'm already here. So I, have spent years in counselling and support groups, women's retreats and courses, and working with mentors and other soul people that I felt could hold a space for me to allow me to be me. And so when I started being more of who I am, Tanya McQueen, and it started expanding my soul, it just made sense to pass it on.
Nice. And what were those? Because you mentioned those magic moments. What did they come in the form of?
For me, sometimes they came in a form of, I would see this tiny little thread, tiny little thread, like it was floating through the air. And if I grabbed at it too quickly, it would disappear. And I was like, damn, what is that? And then other times I would just follow it really gently. Other times there would be many magical moments. I call them aha moments, and in the supermarket buying toilet paper. And,
The
all of a
mundane.
sudden I was aware there was all these different aspects of me, and they were like blocks of land, and they all kind of joined together above my head and then fell through me and landed on my feet. And sort of like the smoke came up everywhere. And I'm looking around the supermarket in the toilet aisle going, what just happened?
Wow.
And
Interesting.
so it was like, I've landed.
You've
I've landed
landed.
on planet Earth. And so I'm very visual.
Yeah.
Audio, yes. I sometimes hear things. I hear my higher self speak through people like yourself, or music or frequency and vibration. And it's following those quieter moments that give me those I don't know, turning points in life. I very rarely, to be honest with you, have gone on some sort of retreat or quest or in my counselling session and had these massive moments. They've always been at the kitchen sink, in the supermarket, driving down the road and seeing a number plate saying something. And it's like, it just, how it just, you can feel it, something hitting you. And it's like, what is it that's hitting me? It's not hurting me. It's just making me go to attention and feel something's just shifted
Wow.
in my
Yeah.
energy, and they're fun. Not all of them are really heavy. Some of them are. I just live for those moments. It might be a magical moment of seeing a praying mantis on my desk. I come in and there's this praying mantis, doing this. You know how they rock backwards and forwards, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, what's praying mantis energy come for? What are you doing here? Rather than freaking out, going, oh my God, get outside, flick. It's like, it's the praying mantis energy. What is it teaching me? To slow down, to take my time before I take my next step.
Thank you for sharing that, because feel
Yeah.
it's really important, that because a lot of people are in this place of no hope, I guess. And it's like, well, what are those magic moments? And I think sometimes, like you said, our mind maybe makes it up and we're trying to grab onto that thread. And how that shows up for you, because it's like, I think it's important for people to hear the mundane, even like what we push aside sometimes. It's like, actually there's
Yes.
magic in it, in
There's
everything.
magic in everything. If you just, I tell myself, just shut up, Tanya, in a gentle way. But sometimes I have to be firm with myself. And just be quiet. Just breathe, because breath is really important. Or if I can't breathe, because sometimes maybe my anxiety is too high, I'll go for a walk and I'll take photos. What can I see that's remarkable? And it might be a spider web. It might be. I once went for a walk and I was like, "There's nothing. There's nothing remarkable. It's all so boring." And then next minute, I see this leaf spinning, and it looked like it was spinning in midair, and I was like, oh, it was actually caught up in a spider web. And so you couldn't really see the spider web, but it looked like the leaf was dancing.
Yeah.
So it was like, there's my message, Tanya, dance with the magic of life. So I started dancing and
Beautiful.
filming the leaf. The answers are always there. Even when you're in a shitty mood and grumpy and depressed and can't be bothered, there'll be something
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
speaking to you.
And how long has this journey been then, from and just for the listeners, it's like, where, are you originally from New Zealand and now you're in Australia? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I
How
was
it,
born in Dunedin, New Zealand. Love the South Island. It's my soul land. And New Zealand is a beautiful place. I moved over to Australia 5 years ago just because I love exploring and I love having experiences. you know, and they're different. The culture's very different here, and I just wanted to experience a different culture that was kind of similar to Kiwis, but not really, but is. You know, I've been on this journey for a very, very long time. And I was aware of things when I was a kid, and I had certain telepathic abilities. So my twin sister and I used to talk to each other silently, didn't know that we were talking, communicating in that way. So the benefit of being a twin, it enabled me to keep open my psychic abilities throughout that teenage years, when normally that gets squashed. Because, you know, what are you going to study? What are you doing with your life? And the practical earthly stuff comes in. You know, I was grateful for that. And in some way I felt too sensitive, which is why the drinking and the drug taking started. I was self-medicating and trapping myself in the bottle like a little genie, wanting someone to rub it and rescue me so I could give them 3 wishes. And then I realised actually it's me that needs to rub the bottle and release myself and give myself 3 wishes.
And was that over time, that awareness, or was it like a, you know, and then
Oh,
message
definitely
that came
over
through?
time. Yeah, there's a combination of things that happen through people, circumstances, listening to myself. And when I couldn't listen to myself, I didn't know other people supported me. I call them my earth angels, came in at the right time to support me.
And when did you realize that, because you and your twin sister, if you were communicating in this way, did you think that everyone was communicating in this way, or that you realized there was a difference?
No. Yeah, I had no idea that we were doing. I did, because it's normal. It's just like you just speak the language. And it was only years later when I was in the supermarket with my sister and we went shopping, and I remember coming out of the supermarket thinking something weird just happened. What was it? And I was looking back and I thought, Michael, we didn't talk. So we would go to the bread, and I could hear her saying, "What bread do you normally eat?" And I said, "Oh, that one there," and she got it. And I realised we hadn't actually spoken out loud, but we just silently went around the supermarket getting things. And I was like, okay, it freaked me out then. I was like, oh. And I can hear other people speak, and often I'll hear them and I'll say, what did you say? And they still didn't say anything.
Oh, interesting.
So that's that telepathic hearing, not hearing voices, even though I'm crazy. But, you know, sometimes from time to time, it can be a blessing and it can be difficult because you really hear what people are saying. So, you know, because I think a lot of people are too scared to be truthful.
Well, coming back to what you're doing now. I know you say that, you know, like your job doesn't define you, but you're assisting people
Yes.
I was reading your bio, and it's about helping people to share their stories and trusting their own voice. So it's interesting you're sharing this, because it's like almost like with that gift, if you like, or with that awareness, are you kind of then seeing, well, you can see where people are not being absolutely true to their voice? Can you like go, oh,
Yes.
that sounds, you know, off a little bit?
I think it's mainly a feeling. You know when somebody's saying something and they might be saying the perfect word and you just go, no, they're full of shit, or no, I don't agree with them, or they're not being authentic or real. You just know, you can feel it. It doesn't matter how much training that person's got in front of camera, they still come across unauthentic. But, they're saying the right things. They're saying the right words. With AI coming in, people really craving, I think, that human connection. We're human beings, and there's many types of beings on the planet, but we're one of them, called human. And so when I'm filming somebody for a soul signature movie, which is filming that golden thread that runs through them, that is unique to them, when they speak from that place of soul alignment, you can feel it. And it's an unconscious thing, but I've become conscious of it. And if I can't, it's almost like I can't actually hear the words.
Yeah. And this
as
is
I'm
what caught
filming
my
them,
attention.
I'm not hearing actually what they're saying.
Oh,
All I need to know as a filmmaker is, have I got enough what I call soul signature moments, boom for my tummy? Am
nice.
I feeling touched by what they just said, or is my body reacting in a positive, inspiring way? And if I have enough of those over the hour of me filming, then I just edit that into 3 minutes. Well, I don't
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
It's a process of editing those powerful moments, and then I listen to what they're saying
Nice.
because it's got a flow. Quite often, people will watch their movies and they might cry and they'll go, "Wow, is that really me?" Because they haven't heard themselves say things about themselves
Interesting.
until you film it and mirror it back to them.
That's so interesting. And that's what really caught my attention. And because we only met briefly at that art exhibition, and then I saw your
Yes.
Facebook post, and I was really drawn to you were sharing a little bit about your process, and I was like, oh. And I think there was one that was like, I need to speak to you about that, about, I guess, you inviting that golden thread that you mentioned to come through with more ease, and you're capturing that moment. Um, can you share a little bit about, like, how do you get people into that zone, if you like, if they're not already doing that, and to
I think
encourage
the
them
most
to
Yeah,
speak
it's
through
not
that?
about me making them do anything. It's to be honest with you, it's about me getting out of the way. And so when we start filming, I do a prayer or intention. I clear what is no longer needed for both of us. Ask that those energies or thought patterns to go for a walk along the beach or to leave us, and then I invite our higher selves to come in and be present, similar to what we did before we started talking. And because it's not about thinking about speaking your truth. When you just say something, that is your truth,
Mm,
and how you say it and how you express it can change, but the core baseline of your purpose and why you're here is exactly the same. In fact, I can tell everybody's purpose, and I'm happy to have conversations with people about this. Everybody's purpose is to help humanity.
yeah, yeah,
Everything we're doing is assisting humanity in some way, shape, or form, whether it be looking after our environments, whether it be helping us with our businesses grow, everything, sound, frequency, healing. Um, but how you express that is uniquely you, and that's what I'm interested in. So when I create a space, meaning I get into my soul alignment, it's almost like it gives the other person to have permission to be themselves.
nice. Yeah,
And plus, I have to say, fun. We laugh. Most people finish filming and they go, "That was so much fun. I had no idea. I thought I'd be really stressed." And it's like, well, that's my gift of humor. And let's play. So
yeah.
when you play in front of the camera, your brain quietens down. When you watch children play, they're just totally in the moment, aren't they? It's
Mm,
beautiful
so
to watch.
true.
When they finish playing with something and they're sick of it, they throw it away. They don't go, they just go, "What? Next toy?"
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of do that as adults, but it's a bit difficult just to throw stuff away like that. But they know in that moment, I've had enough of this, or I want more of that. And so when I'm filming somebody or being in a soul mentoring session, it's about tapping into not the adaptive child, but that childlike magical wonderment that connects us to source energy instantly,
Mm,
in my opinion.
absolutely. So, what sort of people have you worked with, and what have you noticed about them when they've come to you? Do you get it like, oh, I'm getting similar types of people, or it's just been quite a wide spectrum of characters that come?
Generally speaking, for the filming side of things, it's people that kind of know why they're on planet Earth and what they're here to do. And so they're more aware of their emotional intelligence, they're more aware of their business or the work that they're doing. They just know, this is what I'm doing, and I have to get out there more. I have to, how do I express myself in a way that I can use as a marketing tool, but also as a tool to remind myself, because sometimes it's really difficult to stay on path, or we get distracted. Well, I shouldn't say we. I get distracted a lot with shiny objects, and I might do this, I might do that, and so the type of people range from men and women, probably more so women, and more so business owners. People who I will do with the soul mentoring, they're generally stuck, or they're not sure what decisions to make, or they feel disconnected or empty in some way. Something's missing and they don't know what it is. And they need some support to find the answers within, so that they can, fly off into the world and do or be more of who they are.
And how do you mind asking, how do you do your soul mentoring? Because I know you have a few tools in your toolkit. And what are your...
Well, there's, I'm a qualified counsellor as well. So there's a raft of, I can't tell you every single modality that I bring forward. The CBT, TA, Gestalt, creative arts therapy, guided imagery and music. There's a lot of different tools. I think predominantly the way that I work is from a person-centered therapy place, which basically means that you have all the answers in you. I'm not an expert. My role is to create an environment that you feel safe enough to be more of you, to say the things that maybe you've never said before, to explore things about yourself, to learn that you have all the answers inside yourself. How do you access them?
Yeah.
How do I get connected to, how do I get into soul alignment?
Yeah. I hear this more and more. So it's like less about the tool, but more about the person and the connection that you have with that client, and then you're working with their language, and it sounds like whatever's appropriate for the moment, it comes out. And
it comes from them, and I mirror that back to them, or I might ask questions to help them go a bit deeper. And sometimes questions might be uncomfortable. And they might go, "What do you mean by that?" And I'm like, "Yes, got them."
What do you mean by that?
It's like I don't mean anything. I just asked a innocent question. So I'm very intuitive as well. I do sometimes channel messages or energies through that I just need to pass on. So it's very eclectic style. And it's very much, I follow with what the client is. I don't just sit there rambling, but I go with what they need to have to assist them in this journey at that time.
Like, I'm really curious about, because how did you get into video? Because I'm coming back to that voicing of like, well, if you notice when someone's, I guess, or oneself is not in alignment and speaking their truth, and from that space, it's like, have you also noticed what impacts you or your clients you work with? Like, what are the stories, or what are the things that you feel is inhibited people from, or losing that connection to their true voice?
Busy. People just get too busy, and in their heads that we're living from, here up. The soles of our feet, they're called souls for a reason.
Even your powerful image there with the land coming down.
Yeah, when you have your shoes and socks off, our shoes disconnect us from Mother Earth. And when you have your shoes and socks off, that's why you feel good when you walk along a beach when you've got no shoes on, because you're soaking up all the energy, but you're also soaking up your soul energy. Unfortunately, a lot of spiritual practices have told us that hell is down here and heaven is up here. It's not true. They exist in the same place at the same time, but it just stopped us from going down into where our soles of our feet really grounded and strong. And so having the connection as above as below is they say it for a reason, is really powerful.
That's definitely given me a different image when you said the soul soul and sole of your feet. It's like, whoa, yeah, that
Yes.
kind of gives me a different image there for help me be more
Yeah.
present and grounded, for
So
sure.
my higher soul, the bigger part of me, knows what's best for me. I don't. I'm sitting
The
here right
little
now.
eye.
My brain, I don't actually know what's best for me. I have to tune into those quiet little moments, the spaces, and a lot of people, including myself, used to be really uncomfortable in space and that nothingness. So I would busy it up. I would go, oh, here's the space. Let's go and watch Netflix, or let's do this, or let's do that. Or I love technology. At the same time, it really has. It keeps us in our heads and our
Gosh,
minds.
it's such a filler. It's like I was telling my friends
Yeah.
about how my family are so used to having the television on at the background at dinner
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And it's like if there was silence, it's so uncomfortable for them, and that someone will get up to turn on something to have some background noise. And it's like,
So
wow,
here's a tip for you. Silence is the most powerful sales tool.
yeah.
So you ask somebody, do you want to buy my product? And then you shut your mouth and you don't say anything. And then they feel uncomfortable. And then they go, oh, all right, then, if you're having an argument with somebody, shut your mouth and just allow that person to be. It's not even about them. It's just about start feeling comfortable in your own silence. And then you'll hear your soul.
Mm,
Then you'll hear the music of your soul. Then you'll start to hear. I'm 80% deaf, a filmmaker who's 80% deaf. I mean, what? So I do hear on a different level with people
wow.
because it's a feeling hearing. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, yeah.
You might know what I mean by that.
Sensory. I definitely feel it in my body. I'm feeling more in my body, or notice the sensations in my body. Like you said, it's like in the past, I would have busied myself to numb that out. But I guess once you're given some tools and some information around it, it's like, wow, you can really almost like taste as well. That's one, taste the qualities of
Yeah, true. Yeah,
the
it's all the
energies, hear,
senses.
sense, hear, yeah, smell, taste. I'm getting more that in my field
Yeah, it's
of
very
different
fascinating.
qualities of like of when I know if someone's on medication or someone's not feeling well, or it's like, oh,
Oh,
it's
wow.
like an ingredient, like, oh, that's paprika or that's coriander, and it's like, and then but
Well done.
until you taste it, right? I mean, there's definitely more flavors I haven't identified. It's like someone that's really good with wine tasting, and it's like, how do they get those words?
That's interesting.
Whereas I used to be like, it's contracting or expanding. I had two words. It makes me feel like this, or
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you're listening to body, and for you to be able to taste, you need to have the stillness. In a way, you can't just be racing around and then taste the experience that you're
mm,
having. That's
mm,
why when they're tasting wine, it's not just a gulp swallow. They take the time, they smell it, they bring alive all their senses in their whole body before they even have the wine down their throat. And
yeah,
I guess when you look at that from life's point of view, what are you going to do with your time
mm,
on planet Earth? And so taste it, savor it every single moment on this
yeah.
planet because there's no other planet like it in the
That's
universe.
it. That's it. It's like a
No.
smorgasbord. I was like,
Yes.
how are you going to have your experience? Is it, load your plate up, or you want to savor each cuisine in its
I
own
mean, it's probably
unique?
the hardest Earth school ever. Like it's a hard work planet because it's a planet of duality. This, good, bad, happy, sad, black, white. But I have learned, hell, heaven. But I have learned that there's this bit in the middle.
Mm,
They call it the power of now. I call it the bit in the middle. And when I'm in the middle, I then have the power of choice and decisions.
mm-hmm.
I can choose to go that way. I can choose to go that way. So if I know that I have a choice to be in hell on earth, then I know I have a choice to be in heaven on earth. And
Yeah,
sometimes I do
yeah,
choose hell on earth because I don't. It feels normal. I'm
yeah.
used to it. It's comfortable. And
That's
and
it.
sometimes in hell on earth there's these little sparkly moments of you're talking about magical wonderment or aha moments, sometimes come from the place of dark, more so than the place of light. So I'm not going to just love light and peace all the time. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Planet Earth doesn't stay in summer all the time. Mind you, I'm questioning that being in Queensland, Australia. I don't think they have a winter really. But do you know what I mean? The natural cycles of life and the natural cycles of our beings is to go into the dark and the light, but it's also being in the middle
Yeah.
and creating from that place, which is where you can taste. That's remarkable that you can
Yeah.
taste like
Well,
that.
yeah, it's only been recently that's happened, but I guess I've been using that analogy quite a lot, and it's interesting you say about allowing that going us dwelling in the darkness for whatever excavation I guess we're doing there. And I was just got the image of like, oh, we don't know what our normal is, and sometimes our normal or middle bits change. Like if we're used to, you mentioned about fish and chips and that, you know, that kind of fast
Shortland Street
processed
on
foods.
TV. Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah.
shorter TV, and then it's, but for then it was probably perfect for that time.
Yes, it
And it's
was.
like we
Yes,
don't know
true.
what, you know, gourmet fish and chips. I don't know what their version is like. You know, instead of fried fish, it's probably like steamed fish and new potatoes or something. And then you have this different
Why would you
different
do that when you
version.
can have fish and chips? But yeah, I hear what you're
I know
saying.
what you mean. It's like a different version, and go, oh wow, there's something else. And then to not judge your choice of fish and chips, it's like okay, um, it's, I guess it's that unconscious choice rather than conscious choice. So we can still eat the fish and chips, but we're coming more from a space of like, no, I'm choosing. I'm going to enjoy this. It's my choice. Um,
Well, it's about, I'm incredibly hard on myself, really, really hard. I can beat myself up and tell me I'm not good enough. And there's a dark part of me that doesn't even want me on planet Earth. She's very strong and cunning, powerful, and she'll come in and you know that's just who she is. But I know who she is, and so, I've had to learn kindness with myself. It didn't come naturally. I had to learn how to love myself when I hated myself, didn't like who I was. And so now I do have two aspects of me, a bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I
mm,
and I do understand them well, and I do nurture both of them because both parts, they're not going away. I can't get rid of this dark part as like I can't get rid of my light part.
mm,
But today they communicate
yeah, nice.
more. And so I practice kindness. So when I hear a nasty little voice, I can say to myself, oh, that's really interesting
And
that
that's
you
it. I think
say
that's the
that,
important thing
you know.
I'm definitely keen on with that messaging of everything has a place, the dark and the light, and those voices, um, albeit quite strong, seemingly strong at times, they do have a rightful place. Can you speak more about that, Matt? How was that process for you? Like, you know, getting to that point of coming from getting rid of them to actually no, they have a place too.
I think when you fight against something, it fights back.
Mm.
It's really simple. If there's something you don't like about yourself and you're trying to push it away or get rid of it, or it's the law of attraction. Whatever you put out is what you get back. So the more I fought, the bigger this part got,
Mm.
and that's exhausting, fighting yourself. So then the work that I did with some qualified counsellors and some healers, that helped me to not fight, to ask these aspects, what is it that you need? What would you like from me, to start having conversations? And sometimes these parts had ages. How old are you
Mm.
right now?
Mm.
And especially when I got triggered, I'd say, how old are you right now? And I go, 4. And I'd be like, all
Mm.
right, oh, I can't make a business decision with this person when I'm being in a 4-year-old. So what does the 4-year-old need? I want to go outside and play. All right, let's go outside and play.
Mm.
So it was about loving all aspects of myself
Mm.
and doing the work on not just focusing on the dark aspects, but I didn't know the joyful aspects, the happy parts of me, like there was the higher self, the soul parts that want nothing but the best for me on this earth journey. So I had to start communicating with them as well. I had to keep saying, well, who are you? And what age are you? And they're like, oh, we're your future self, or we came from another galaxy. And it's like, oh, cool. Well, what are you here for? To assist you. I'm like, sweet as. Bring
Awesome.
it on.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we can't assist you if you don't ask for help. I'm like, that's another hard one. Ask for
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
So it is very much creating the space or having these conversations with myself. That's really, really, really important for me. That's how I integrated all these parts. That's Tanya
That's a
McQueen, really.
that's a good reminder, actually. Not just the shadow aspects, but sometimes the light aspects. People are quite uncomfortable with. I remember a lady in a workshop, and I was asking people to sound for joy, and there was one lady who's like, I don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah,
I what
yeah.
I hear the word, but I don't actually. And I was like,
Because we're
oh.
always
So it's like, oh
const-
wow, hang on, she was so used to not being in joy that it's like, what is this thing? So I said, well,
yeah,
actually, and
yeah.
then I said, well, sit, just sit it, like, cause maybe allow the others to bring that through, and she can just experience it for herself, and not me go, this is what a joy is. It's like, well, actually, no, it's for her
Yeah, it
to
is.
name or
It is.
not, or maybe it doesn't have a label, and it's more of a
I mean,
sensation in the body.
how often do we walk around saying to people how good we are at things or what we love about ourselves? The tall poppy syndrome, the potter syndrome. We don't do that because especially in New Zealand and Australia, the tall poppy, who do you think you are saying that? Well, it's like, who am I not to say that?
Yeah.
And it's more I remember being really unwell when I was in Tauranga in New Zealand, and I was walking along the beach on medications for this and that and whatever they diagnosed me with. And I was like, if I could just work out what's wrong with me, then I could fix it and get on with my life. And this little voice, remember I said that little voice said, but Tanya, there's nothing wrong with you. And I was sort of like, well, if there's nothing wrong with me, why am I spending all this energy trying to fix me? So I decided in that moment that was it. I'm going off the medication with support from the medical people because, you're taking strong meds. If there's nothing wrong with me, I'm choosing to decide to focus on what's right with me
Nice.
and the positive things and what I enjoy and what I love and who I like being around and doing more of that rather than spending all this time trying to fix something that's actually not broken.
Do you feel, do you know, or is it important to know where that dialogue has come from? Like the need to fix
Uh,
oneself?
yes and no. Like I didn't need to know where it came from or what age I was and where I got that on board and who taught me and who said that. It's kind of, you can go a little bit crazy trying to
Yeah.
work out where things came from. It's just like, it's a feeling. I know it's not true. So then let it go and move on. Otherwise, I'm going back into the past to try and find the source of things where sometimes, especially if you've had trauma like me, you won't remember the source. You won't remember where it came from. Is it useful for me to bring up everything from the past and re-traumatize myself? No. And yes, sometimes it is useful.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't need to know where the source comes from. It's like, who's that voice? Where's that voice that said there's nothing wrong with you? Why aren't you asking me, or why aren't you focusing on, well, who's that?
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
focusing on the voice that told me I'm sick, why aren't I focusing on the voice that
You're
said
well.
there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
There's
you?
nothing wrong with you.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, so it's sort of like, who's that? Who's that voice? But Tony, there's nothing
Absolutely.
wrong with me.
Absolutely.
Because when you focus on more of that and what you are, then you become more of that. Your soul expands. Whereas if you're focusing on the things that stopped you and stayed stuck, guess what? You're going to keep staying. stuck
That's
in my experience.
yeah. I remember someone, I can't remember, a friend told me it's like letting go of letting go. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's like, because then, I've caught myself doing this, and I'm sure many other people do, is like where you do the self-help stuff to the point where that becomes a strategy to avoid creating in life. Because you go, oh,
Yes.
wow, this is interesting. I feel like this feels good to get those kind of trauma therapy highs in terms of when you overcome something and then you start
Well, I
going,
mean, don't get
oh,
me wrong. You
yeah,
know, I still really think that that's very necessary. Like the counselling that I've done and the work I've done is really necessary. And just sometimes I need a break from it.
absolutely. No, it's,
And
yeah.
to integrate, to understand, to just get on with life. And it's another addiction, you know. I need to talk to this person because they're going to give me the answers.
Mm,
Um, it's like, no, no, no. That's why with the soul mentoring, when clients come to me, they might only have 6 sessions.
mm.
In fact, I want them to have as less as possible so they can get on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want them, but in some circumstances with very severe childhood trauma or just trauma in general, it takes more than 6 sessions. I'm talking counselling
Mm,
here. So
mm.
I think it's really up to the individual. People go to tarot card readings and want people to tell them about their future, and that supports them. So I guess that's why I like Gestalt therapy, because it's very much in the now. What are you feeling right now?
Now.
But yeah, I don't want to come across as saying that it's not important to
Oh
look
no,
at
not
stuff
sure.
from your
I was.
past.
It was for me a reminder that, I mean, this is where I've gone on those journeys of like you can do shadow work, but also there's also the creative creating in life, and so there's a place for both of
Yeah,
self
there are.
development
Yes, there is.
and moving forward as best as we can, whatever that looks like for people. And I honor that. You know, I really hear what you're saying. It's like it's a every case is nuanced and has their own. Everyone's got their own journey.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, definitely.
absolutely, some complex situations and not so complex situations. So, what's alive for you right now? What's kind of in your life or work at the moment?
What's alive, did you
Alive.
say?
Yeah, alive.
Me.
Alive.
I'm
Tanya's
not dead yet,
alive.
so I'm still here. I think you know, I'm putting together a course called Soul in Motion, and it's very much about what we're talking about, actually, about creating movies that inspire you, that connect you to yourself, to uh, help you with the law of attraction, frequency and vibration, and get into alignment, and putting that course together. And it's so exciting because I've wanted to do this for about 20 years. It's sort of taking nature and technology and joining it together because I love both.
Oh, awesome.
Um, and that's exciting. The soul mentoring that I'm doing one on one, I've got clients generally on Zoom, and it's not as fun as being in person, I have to say, but it still works,
Yeah.
and we can still do quite a lot of, because our energy and our souls move; they're not static. So online here. And my filmography business, still doing business videos for clients and self signature movies. However, I've been doing that for about 18 years now, and I'm wanting to make a Tanya McQueen movie. So I'm
Ooh.
so super excited about it. I've just had my first woman in the Gold Coast said yes for me filming her, and it's going to be remarkable. I think that's what's going to probably
Can
be
you?
called
Oh,
Remarkable Woman in Australia, Queensland
yeah.
Remarkable Woman, and it's weaving together all of our stories in a fun way, because we have to have laugh, but very deep, meaningful stories. Our stories heal, and like I said, when people are speaking from that soul frequency
Yeah.
vibration that we were talking about, and then the viewer watches it,
Yeah.
they feel it, and my dream is to create a movie that gives people hope.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, that they go, maybe I could do that too, or oh, there is something bigger but then more importantly, give them, well, what do I do? Like give them some tools or some people to connect with instantly, to, you know, if they resonate with that person, go connect with them, go and
Oh
talk
wait,
to
so
them.
is this a movie about you or a movie about you following you, meeting other people?
So it will be me, what do you call it, narrating it, but interviewing people, but not
Oh,
interviewing like this. It's
yeah.
I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, I was gonna say, how much can you give away?
But basically, I go and play with that person, and then they tell their story um, to camera and
Awesome.
their experience, strength, and hope. So it's sort of, um, yeah. I didn't want to do the interviewing stuff. We might do the interviewing stuff when we're playing, doing whatever
Yeah, yeah.
task we're doing. Won't be in a studio, and it's still coming together,
Exciting.
but it just become really important that Tanya McQueen needs to, I need to share my story mixed in with other people's
Mm,
stories. So we might talk about addiction, and I'll pick three people that have recovered from addiction in three different ways,
mm,
because there's never one way.
mm,
And then we might talk about sexuality and how that impacts these people and how they express themselves, or
mm.
um,
Exciting.
there's so many different topics right there, like you with your sound and your healing. Like when I heard your sound and your voice, um, something sparkled in me that gave me permission to not only just hear it, but to open my body up and senses up to feel the energy that you were sharing.
Mm.
And that helped me raise my frequency vibration, or become more of me, or connect deeper to me by hearing those sounds.
Oh,
And so we
fantastic.
need women like you doing what you're doing. I don't do what you do.
And vice versa. Yeah, it's great to encourage each other to, shine and be ourselves, like you said.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we all
so,
have a thing.
how's the best? What's the best way of people finding out what you're up to and connecting with you?
Um, well, I've got a website,
Okay.
McQueenCreativeStudios.com, www, McQueen Creative Studios, a Facebook page. I haven't really, um, I guess the easiest way is to go into my, what do you call it, database,
Mm-hmm.
and email me at Tanya McQueen number 8 at gmail.com. Or go to my website and have a look around there of the videoing and the soul mentoring, and you can contact me from the website as well. And, you know, see if I resonate, or if something, you know, you want to come and hang out with me for a little bit, either
Mm,
making movies or having conversations.
absolutely. So as we're coming towards the end, question mark, she says. That's a question. What permission or reminder would you like to offer listeners about their own voice?
Permission or reminder about their own
Own
voice.
voice.
Um, I don't quite know how to say this, but it's getting into a place where you speak your truth with not worrying about what other people think.
Mm,
And it's a practice, practice in small. If you don't know how to, just like I just talk, as you can tell.
love
Words
it.
just come out of my mouth, and there's no filters. Just say it how it is. If I think, should I say this? If I have a cognitive process, is like, oh, I really need to tell this person this, or should I say that to them, or do I need to say this? I don't say it,
Mm.
because it's a
That's
thought
the clue.
process.
That's the clue in itself for the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I'm either being controlling, nosy, gossiping. You know, it's
Mm.
not really coming from my heart. So I don't say it.
Yeah.
And if it just comes out, then it's been said. And sometimes I go, oh, I can't believe I just said this. And I check in with the person, and they go, no, 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 I didn't notice, you know. So I practice with people, always ask afterwards if I feel I clean my side of the fence up. I apologize if I feel like I need to, if I've said something that I feel like it's wrong. Most of the time it's not, because that's my thing, is learning that I'm okay. And when you give yourself permission to be free with your words, it's really powerful, because as you know, words like, everybody knows this, the words like spells. In the witchy poo days, they would say spells, words. So whatever does come out of your mouth is really powerful with the frequency, energy, and vibration. So I'm not that I'm mindful, I just know that what I say sometimes makes me feel really good. It's, and, I came from a very abusive background with partners that would say to me, I can't believe you said that, and then you said this. And so I learned to shut up. In my childhood, I didn't say anything, because you say something, you'd get beaten up. I learned very early on to keep this shut and watch, be quiet. Nowadays,
Wow, this is
it's sort
interesting
of a
because
little bit different.
we're going on a wee journey now again of the other question is like, what shaped your voice? And it sounds like you were the one that was told to be quiet. Can't believe you said that, so you pulled back. Were there other
Yeah,
stories
I
like in
didn't
your
think.
family that
Yeah,
came
I thought
through?
everything that I was saying was. So I learnt really quickly to analyze you and say what you wanted me to say.
Wow.
So I'd look at you and I'd go, this is the type of person, this is where they work, this is what I'll say to them to make them feel comfortable, to say the right thing to get the job, to say the right thing to get that relationship. And again, I understand what it's like not to be authentic.
Yeah.
And it's a hard place, because you're constantly almost like lying to yourself.
Yeah.
So, when somebody lies,
Ooh.
the story changes all the time.
Oh, that's
You're,
interesting. Because then what part of that is like, yes, there's an awareness and you're adapting to the situation, it sounds like. Is that correct? Like you kind of
yes,
like, um, but is it, because I've done that. I do that.
yeah, yeah.
But also with that, because it's like instantaneous. So are you having an awareness as well as like what they can receive and what they can only hear?
I used to. So I used to filter it, and I used to look at my audience. I say, well, I can't really talk in the language that I use, because they won't understand. And to a certain degree, when I'm doing speaking to different groups, I do have to take that in consideration.
Yeah.
At the same time, going back to my point, whereas if it's been said and I'm not thinking about it, it's meant to be said. So before the talk, or whether I'm with somebody, I do assess the situation. And then at the end of the day, I just say what I feel in that moment, in my language and my words. And I'm not wanting a response from that person. So I'm not saying something hoping that they understand me, or because it's none of my business whether they understand me or not. It's none of my business where I think I'm planting a seed and they might get it later. It doesn't matter. What is my business is me speaking my truth
Yeah. And you're leaving it
in that
there. And
moment.
then, yeah.
And it's not that I don't care about what other people think, because I really do care about what other people think. It's just that in that moment, or now when I'm speaking, I'm not thinking I need to say this to make you feel uncomfortable. I need to say this so that you'll learn and wake up and become 7D instead of 4D, or there's no ego associated with what I'm saying. I'm just saying, and if you don't like me, I don't care either. And if you don't like me, it's a challenge, because it's like, what don't you like about me? Because I bet that part's in you that you haven't healed yet.
Yeah.
Again, that's none of my business. If you do like me, I don't really care either, because
Yeah.
whatever you
Yeah.
like in me is in you.
Yeah.
And so it's just this wonderful, I guess when I'm listening to your music, it's a dance. It's an energy musical dance, and I'm just hearing what's happening, going in and out. And magic happens because if other people didn't speak their truth,
Yeah.
how am I to learn and grow?
Ah,
if everybody else says the right things at the right time and the right way, how is that giving me permission to be authentically me?
this is interesting because I'm sensing that the examples also depend on the context and situation, because it sounds like would the one of those examples, like the it sounds like a transmission, like because you're already gone, okay, am I not even asking, but it will come out and be said or not said. And when it's been said, it's either, is it like a behavior you're pointing out, or a boundary that they've crossed, or a information or insight that might be, give it or take, whatever it is. It can be lots of different information, I'm guessing, either
Yeah.
for you, well, for them, for you. So there was these different examples. Is that correct? Am I hearing that? Am I getting that correct?
I don't even analyze it to that
No,
extent.
that's me going,
I'm
what's
just,
going on?
yeah, I'm just
That's
sort of
what it
actually
feels like,
sitting
because
here
I can hear
going,
the
I don't
listeners
actually,
going, what do you mean? What do you mean?
yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. I think it's, if I respect myself, I'll respect you. If I'm kind to myself, I'll be kind to you. I'm not trying to do anything that you want me to do. I'm not working out your personality type and talking to that, even though I take that and, I'll take your responses into
Yeah,
consideration. But why would I spend another minute on planet Earth and be in my head and say words just to please you or to
right.
keep the peace,
Ah, okay.
or and be in fear of having an argument? Or yes, I do still find it hard when somebody does something that I don't like to stand up for myself and speak my truth. It's about picking my battles, I guess. Yes, I do know when I'm triggered. I can feel it in my body, so I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak from my triggered 4 year old damaged part. I don't want to hurt other people, including myself. So I just shut my mouth at those parts.
Thank you. That's,
Mostly, for me to be able to film somebody, I have to ask certain questions, and they are 100% channeled and just come through me. I do not have a list of questions ready to ask people. I have I've done it long enough to have a concept of what we need. Um, and sometimes I'll sit there and I'll actually ask the universe, oh, what questions can I ask now in front of the client while I'm
yeah.
filming them?
Yeah.
Um,
I think we're getting to the crux of it, because it was, I can hear the listeners going, well, what does authenticity look like? And those examples you gave, it's great, because it's like I don't have to make things up to make other people feel better. I don't have to say these things um, just to appease the situation or calm it down or whatever. It's like I'm just me, and whatever comes out comes out. It's funny because there's two Chinese sayings that we have, and one
yeah.
is "sai he," which is waste of breath. It's like I'm wasting
I
my
love it.
breath trying to explain,
Yes,
and the
yes,
other
yes,
one
yes, love
is
it.
"hao sui dogota," which is you've got more saliva than a cup of tea. So it's again implying you have
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
again
yeah.
that
You're
over.
talking too
I was like,
much.
oh, that's funny. Because I find my culture, which I've shied away from because I was British born, um,
Yes,
that directness that the Chinese people have. And they get to the
yes.
point. It can be harsh. I mean, it could be wrapped up in a different way, but it's direct, and it's like,
Yeah,
and actually, that's something I'm realizing now, is just to embrace that authenticity, meaning just say it as it is, just call
yeah.
it as it is.
What's
No
I mean,
faff.
life is no. I mean, life is too confusing anyway. I've got this wonderful mentor, Jessica Fleming, who she's American, and most people would find her harsh. And I said to her, I said, Jess, why do you just say things as it is? You come across quite harsh, and you can see people literally doing this because I do it. And so I was asking her why she does it. And
Mm,
because I didn't know why I did it, I just did it. And she said, "Oh, because I haven't got time
mm,
to butter it up and fluff it around." She's 86. She just goes, boom, boom, take it or leave it.
yeah,
That's the I don't care part. Um, I have, for me, yes, I'll say stuff sharp, but it has to be for the impact
yeah,
for that person. Sometimes people have said stuff to me really short, they're short little off comments, And I'm being like, oh wow, that hit me in the heart. And it's like,
Yeah.
and then I can either go, that's mean and how dare you and you're really horrible, or but if I'm having the reaction, there's something in there for me.
That's
So I
it,
go
yeah.
away and I look at it and go, why did that irritate me so much? Is there some truth in those words? And 99.9% of the time there is. Now that truth might not be, it might be something that I need to learn, or it might be that I don't want that person in my life anymore.
Yeah.
So what is the truth in that comment?
Owning our part of the trigger.
But it's that time thing, like you're saying, the Chinese words and how you're saying stuff, and it's a waste of time speaking that. And so, and I get right back to the start when we were talking about the power of silence. Sometimes you can be in a room with somebody and be in total silence and you're still communicating. You're still feeling. We could just sit here in silence and people watching it would start feeling something.
I know, it's like, do we do that now? Shall we do that now?
It's like, I wonder what's coming up for them in the silence. It's like,
especially the audio podcast version, like
silent audio podcast. I love it.
Just the wheezing from laughing.
But it is when you speak your truth and you say something, it feels good, doesn't it?
Exactly, it does. It's so
if you're screaming or you're crying or you're laughing or you're there's some energy with the words and you're saying these words, the energy frequency. The Māori language is got more vowels in it. It's very powerful language, and it just, for me, it's just like, well, it feels good to me.
That's it. That's how I operate as well. Especially now I'm in my body more. It's just that what feels good, Our body doesn't lie. Is that
no?
So okay. How are we feeling in terms of? Is there anything that wants to be said in this podcast that's relevant for the listeners?
Tell me the name of the podcast again.
It is The Living Voice. What shapes our voice and how our voice shapes the world.
I think one of the things I teach is about speaking your truth. And there is a collective consciousness, you call it glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking. And centuries upon centuries, we've had our tongues cut off for speaking our truth, our heads chopped off for speaking our truth, burnt at the stake for speaking our truth. Now our social media pages get shut down for speaking our truth. There's some level of control. And so that really generates a lot of fear in us from a collective consciousness. I'm not even talking about our childhood traumas and what we think about ourselves and tall poppy syndrome and imposter syndrome, or all of those. I'm talking there's another whole level of fear. And so it's about loving yourself enough to then speak your truth. And when people do, I love it when somebody speaks their truth about something that I disagree with, because it's like, and they're passionate about it. And I'm like, I get curious enough to go, well, I totally disagree with them. I think they're completely wrong, but oh my God, really? Tell me more. Like, why do you think this is true? That's their truth, not mine.
Nice.
So it's not about judging someone else's truth. It's just about being in yours. And when you are in your own truth and speaking that, this amazing thing happens. It doesn't matter what other people's truth is. I don't get racked up anymore.
That's it. How can we come to a space of being an allowance of other people's perspectives? It just is their perspective, and we don't have to try and convince them.
The only way you can get there is by speaking your truth and being comfortable with it. If you're uncomfortable with someone else speaking their truth, there's something in you that's you know. I mean, I'm a alcoholic, lesbian, bipolar, deaf twin. There's a lot of experiences that I've had
How many more
with
labels
these
do you want to put
with
in?
these labels, you know, coming out gay as a gay woman. I mean, you know what? I'm in a minority group where 95% or 97% of the planet fear me. They're scared of me, and they want to change it because they're scared of the way that I love. And so, did that teach me something about being authentically me and the importance of loving myself? Yes, it sure did. And so once I let go of my own internal, I don't want to be gay, I hate being gay, you know, anger, and started loving those parts, then now it doesn't matter. I forget that I'm gay. I mean, do you forget that you're straight?
I know.
Do you sort of go, oh my God, that's right, I've forgotten I was straight, you know?
Let me straighten this out. Like, I know. Yeah, this is so interesting what we're broadcasting subconsciously or feel that we get what's the word passionate about and I guess I remember talking with my ex-partners about we've lost I never had the ability to have the art of master debating. I call it the art of debating
Yeah,
and having healthy conversations where you do get to spar off each other, but it's not about winning, but about like airing and sharing. But you know, you're passionate about your point of view, and then you get to hear the other side. And they tried to introduce that to in the school where I was in. I think I was 11 years old, but we didn't get it, and the tutor didn't quite get it. But I wish we did it more because it's like I've lost. A lot of us don't have that ability to be able to argue a point, but also not hold on to that point too strongly. Be able to listen to someone else's
yeah, yeah,
point and go and kind of
yeah,
pick holes, because then you get to grow and go, oh, actually, I never saw it like that. I never heard it. But now we've got this thing of what people call cancel culture. And like you said, that control, that collective, that energetic archetype of there's still some control in certain ways because we're afraid. So whether that's controlling the social media, what's been seen, what's been
yeah, it
heard,
is, yeah.
or cancelling you out. I'm just going to not look at you, and that's much easier than
Well, I mean,
allowing it to exist. Allowing it
yeah,
to
I mean, if
exist.
somebody has a different view that I strongly disagree with, I'll just delete them off my Facebook page. Or if I'm having an argument, Australians love to argue. It's a very bizarre culture. They, if they like you, they put you down. They make
Oh,
jokes, and
interesting.
as a yeah, it took me 4 years to work that out. And then when I worked it out, I was with this group of people, and I thought, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to put some people down and see what happens. Well, oh my God, the table erupted. They laughing. They absolutely loved me, and it was like my little experiment. And I thought, this is amazing. So I kept doing it. Like, it's totally against my nature to say something nasty to somebody, but
Yeah.
they responded because that's the way that they joke with each other. And now you're in, now you're a mate.
Oh,
Um,
the
you
banter. The
know,
kind of
it's
like,
like, oh yeah, you're a mate. And then the mistake I made was at the end of the event, I decided to tell them what I was doing.
oh,
And I said, so I told them, oh, I've been doing this on purpose because I find you guys funny. And the room just went silent. And I was like, oh,
oh, whoops.
now I've sort of stuffed it up a little bit. Um, but I wasn't
Hey,
authentically being me. That's not in my nature to wind people up and
interesting.
be nasty. And part of me enjoyed it because I never am nasty to people and they tend to like it. But I don't do it because it's not in my culture. It's
Yeah.
not, I don't find it funny being nasty to people and putting them down and laughing about their hair or what they're wearing, or I just find it mean. So, but I still have people in my life that are like that, and I understand them. I just don't play the game. I choose what game I want to play because I didn't feel good. I felt good to a certain degree putting people down because
Oh,
it's a
indulging in a
unique
role sort
feeling.
of thing. Like, ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was sort of like, ooh, but not really.
That's
did
so
it fill
true.
me up or, yeah, no,
Yeah.
not really. I was
I
just, I think what I liked was the responses and them laughing at me,
yeah.
more so than the words that were coming out of my mouth.
True, because it's
So
that sense of what I guess in the constellation work we had the sense of belonging. So you kind of do what the tribe
yes,
does
yes,
to
yes,
kind of
yes,
like,
yes,
oh
yeah.
mate, I'll crack this joke, or I've
That's
got the
very true.
response.
Yeah,
I
that's very
remember that
true.
banter in the. It's almost I had to put the. I was part of the rugby club for a little bit in London, and it was that
Yeah,
banter, that this quick,
yes.
and I guess the reverse of the Chinese saying of like, they do have extra breath they would expend on you to oh, she's all right, let's just poke her around a bit, and then it was like, ouch, but then it's like, then you, oh, okay, I have to come back with the funny jokes, and it took
Yeah,
me a while
just,
to get there, and
yeah,
it was just
yeah.
like, I find, things I wouldn't normally say, but they were like,
No,
oh, she's all
no.
right, she can take it.
I mean, I went to a rugby league game in Australia. It's big over here, right? And we were in the stadium, and the team that my friend was supporting was the Queenslanders, and they were playing the Warriors. And I was like, well, who am I going to support? And I thought, well, I'm in Queensland. I better buy a Queenslander hat, and I'll support Queenslanders. Well, Queenslanders were getting the tries. The New Zealanders were down the bottom banging their drums and everything. And of course, every time we got a try, even though I was a Kiwi, I was like yelling, "Yeah, in your face! Yeah, we got you!" And and I was thinking, where else on the planet can you go and abuse the crap out of people on purpose and tell them they're full of shit, and it's accepted? You don't go to prison, nobody, and they turn around and they abuse you when they get a try. It's like,
Yeah,
it
interesting.
was the funniest. And then you leave the stadium, and as soon as you leave the stadium, it's not cool. You don't do that stuff
No, you don't
if you're
continue.
not, no,
In
you
your
don't
face.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll get put in prison and you get locked up. But while you're in the game, it's a bit
So
like while you're wearing,
interesting.
a bikini in the water, it's fine. But then you get out of the beach, but then if
Go
you
to the
go
supermarket.
past the
Yeah.
beach and you start going to the shops just in your bikini, then it's not cool.
It's not
So
cool.
there's
It's unspoken rules. Like,
boundaries. There's
so
kind of,
funny.
and it's the same with the voice, the spiritual boundaries, I guess. When
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about that, there's sort of, I've crossed the spiritual boundary, I'll apologize to clean
Mm,
up my side.
mm,
Because, like I said, when you say those words, they're very, very powerful, and it will
yeah.
come back. So I just check in with myself, and sometimes I hurt people, and I've got no idea that I have,
Mm,
and then it's up to them to say something to me if they choose to. But anyway,
thank you, Tanya. It's been
fascinating, isn't it?
such a journey of conversations. Like, we talked about a lot of things about that have influenced our voices, and just even those, fun but not but weird indulgence in role play in different groups, and how that shapes our voice and influences
It
our
does.
voice, to like, our soul voice. Like, your soul mentoring is so important, that how you can really hear the soul speaking or not speaking, and whether they're connected or not. That's so fascinating.
It's beautiful to hear the soul voice. I like how you just said that, because that's what it is. It's not spoken words, it's an unspoken thing. It's a bit like the unseen world. And when I'm thinking about the unheard world, and then there's the seen. So people, when they're using the law of attraction, they say, I'm going to ask for something and put it out there.
Mm,
And so I say to people, well, where's out there? And they go, what do you mean? And I said, well, you understand about law of attraction. You put it out there, you ask for what you want, and it comes to you. Well, where's it going to, and what's that out there?
is it the same as the letter to Santa? Yeah, like what?
Yeah, that's sort of like the unseen, the unheard,
Yeah.
and that's more powerful
Mm,
than, in my opinion, the physical reality of this planet, that world out there. And so I
mm,
feel and see and hear in that world that guides me, my human being. And when you see somebody else tapping into their own hearing
yeah.
and seeing and feeling, and you witness that with that person or that group, it's just such a cool feeling, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
When they just go, oh, I'm not just me. And it's like,
mm,
it's
yeah.
just what they do with that's up to them, but pretty cool.
Yeah, where the magic happens. So yeah,
Yeah, it
we'll put
is. I've
your,
just,
well, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I've really enjoyed talking to you, or
Likewise.
talking at you.
No, sharing with us. You're sharing your
with
magic with
sharing
us.
with it's
Exactly. So we'll put
fascinating.
your website and etc. in the show notes. And
Okay, all
but
right, thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you again so much for joining on. I'm sure we'll have you on again to speak about more topics if that
Yeah,
occasion arises. And I'm excited about your movie as well.
and
So
my
yeah,
hope really for people is that they hear and see who they really are,
no, absolutely.
and that's yeah, that's my purpose. So lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Been wonderful.